several hours as the mercury plunged below zero.
At Hellman's, we care about sourcing 100% of our canola oil responsibly from Canada. And we care about incredible taste. Because at Hellman's, we're on the side of food.
Pig or a whale as a lifesaver. This video is about animals who demonstrated unusual quickness of wit, sympathy, and bravery in a risky situation. So let's take a look at 10 animals that saved someone from a certain death. This 12-year-old Ethiopian girl had been missing for a week. It was known that 7 men had kidnapped the girl, holding her captive and trying to force her into marrying one of them. A week after the kidnapping, she was found accompanied by 3 lions, who, as it turned out, rescued her and scared the kidnappers to death in the process. Later, the policemen learned that before they arrived, those lions had been guarding the girl for half a day. The predators not only made no harm to the girl, but also stood guard and protected her from anyone else as well. They left only when the police officers arrived. Zoologists say that the lions might have been reacting to the girl's tears as if they were the mouths of a lion cub. In August of 1996, at the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago, a 3-year-old boy fell 18 feet from a fence into a gorilla habitat, sustaining a rather severe head injury. Binti Jua, a female lowland gorilla, protected the boy from the other gorillas who are notoriously territorial. She then cradled him in her arms and carried him 60 feet to an entrance where zoo employees and medical personnel waited to treat his injuries. Everyone agreed that without Binti's help, the outcome of this situation could be much worse. At the Polar Land Aquarium in Harbin, China in 2009, diver Yang Yun took part in a free diving competition to apply for a whale training job offered there. While diving in the freezing water in a 20-foot deep rubber tank, she developed a cramp in her leg and found herself unable to swim to safety. Mila, one of the 2 beluga whales in the tank, noticed Yun's distress and came to her rescue by grabbing her leg in her mouth and forcefully pushing her up to the surface, saving her life. One of the most misunderstood animals in the world is the pig. Pot-bellied pigs are clean, intelligent, and devoted beings. A pot-bellied pig is being hailed a hero after saving her owner's life. Joanne Oldsman suffered a heart attack while vacationing in the northwoods of Presque Isle, Pennsylvania. Joanne was unconscious and in desperate need of medical attention. The only other soul with her was Joanne's Vietnamese pot-bellied pig, Lulu. Realizing her friend needed help, the quick-thinking pig sprang into action. Lulu ran out of the house, somehow getting the gate opened. She then ran into the street and laid down in front of traffic. Several cars just drove around her. Not willing to give up, Lulu tried again, laying down in the middle of the street and stopping traffic. Finally, a man got out of his car to make sure Lulu was not hurt. Lulu got up as he approached her and started towards the house. The concerned citizen followed Lulu to her home, finding Joanne Oldsman unconscious, and called 911. Probably the last animal you would think of as a lifesaver is a rabbit. Well, a man named Simon Stiegel would disagree with you on that, after he fell into a potentially lethal diabetic coma on his couch in his home in Cambridgeshire, England. Victoria, his wife, was in the vicinity when it happened, but she was under the impression that he had fallen asleep on the couch after a hard day at work. It was Dory, the couple's house rabbit, who sensed something wrong and hopped on top of Simon. She began to thump around emphatically and lick at Simon's mouth, trying to return her owner back to consciousness. Victoria soon saw Dory's odd behavior and figured out that the rabbit somehow had a more acute sense of her husband's dire medical state than she did. She called the paramedics and Simon's life was saved. Cats aren't known for being man's best friend, but one has clawed away Los Angeles Animal Shelter's award for dogs after protecting her owner from an attacking canine. Tara the cat famously fought off a dog that attacked her 4-year-old autistic owner as he rode his bicycle in the driveway of the family's Bakersfield home in May of 2014. She body slammed Scrappy, an out-of-control Labrador chow mix that lived next door, when the dog got out of his yard, ran for Johnny Trantafilo, grabbed his leg and started shaking the body from side to side. The cat achieved instant internet stardom when a clip of the encounter was uploaded to YouTube and viewed 24 million times. Real Gwynton of Ontario, Canada, was on a camping trip with his parents when they decided to go out in the boat to go fishing. Real stayed on the shore but was horrified when he witnessed the boat tip over and his parents struggle in the water and drown. He walked toward the nearest town to get help, but when the sun set, he realized he would have to spend the night on the cold, damp ground. He fell asleep. In the morning, he awoke to find 3 wild beavers huddled against him and across his body. They had saved him from freezing to death overnight when the temperatures dipped below zero. 4-year-old Andrei Pavlov was feeding ducks near his home in Krasnoyarsk, Russia, when he fell through the ice into the freezing water of a pond. The boy spent at least 20 minutes underwater and stopped moving. A stray dog named Naida immediately began barking frantically. She alerted Tatiana Balashova, who was giving food to stray dogs at the time. Tatiana said, "Naida saw me, ran up, looked at me, and ran back to the pond." Miss Balashova immediately understood that Naida was trying to tell her that a child had fallen through the ice. She got nearby help and the boy was pulled out quickly. After a few days in the hospital, Andrei was released in satisfactory condition. After that, Naida was adopted by a family from another village. The long-haired fellow named Masha by the block's residents discovered the baby boy inside the car park box, an apartment block in the Russian city of Obninsk, after hearing his cries in the cold. Masha apparently climbed inside the box and wrapped herself around the abandoned child, believed to be less than 12 weeks old, to keep him warm. Hearing Masha's loud meows, resident Irina Lavrova rushed to rescue the cat, believing she was injured. Instead, she discovered her curled around the now quiet baby. The baby was rushed to the hospital, with Masha attempting to follow the car, and was found to be healthy despite his outburst state. Nevertheless, the doctors said that if it wasn't for Masha, the baby would definitely freeze to death. The event that happened in the Brazilian city of Campinas, São Paulo, has stirred the world community. It was a normal day in a poor neighborhood of Campinas until the usual life of the local residents was violated by a red stray dog. The dog came out of the garbage containers carrying a newborn baby in its mouth. Passers-by were shocked and horrified when they saw the animal's find. It was obvious that the child was recently born because his umbilical cord was not cut. The dog brought the child to the nearest residential building. A woman who lived there couldn't believe her eyes, but a few seconds later she came to her senses and took care of the baby.